Hello friends, thank you for joining me again today. My name is Dan, and as the title there says, I'm starting a new painting. Unfortunately, it's a painting of Hawaii, but alas, from photographs, not from my own, not on plein air. I have never been to Hawaii nor Alaska. I have, however, been to all 48 contiguous states. So here's my sketch. Here's a number of auxiliary photographs that I found online to augment the one that the ones that my client sent to me. And let's make this official. So this is Daily Art Adventure number 813. Can you see that? I think so. Hawaiian landscape, I call it. Thank you again for joining me. I don't usually start. Those were, by the way, were watercolor sticks. Hey, I've never done this before. So let's see what happens. Whoa. Well, maybe I should do that more often, shouldn't I? Whoa. Wow, was that nice? Was that a pleasant surprise? Oh my goodness, I might have just stumbled on a new practice, folks. That is just lovely. Woo! All right, so wow, it's a little more subtle than how I normally some of you newcomers saying subtle. What? There's nothing subtle about that. Okay, but now I'm going to do now what I normally do right at the beginning, which is more like this. See, that's what I meant by a little bit more bolder. The grammar police are out. A little bit more bolder. And again, just in case there are any newcomers here, oh, sorry to keep having to move your camera. So here is the photograph that my client sent to me, and over here, just out of your range of vision, is my colored sketch. Let's back up just a little bit. Let me show you. So, and you can watch me do this a couple days ago. This is my tonal sketch, or my value sketch. Come on, I'll get it there in a second. There we go. This is my values composition based on a bunch of photographs. Okay, the photographs showed me the place, but they are not. Hello, Jane. They are not. The photograph is not a good painting. It's a nice photograph. It's a nice snapshot, but it's not a good painting. So I did a lot of weather. Did a lot with the weather in my sketch, and then I guess I'll pick this up now. And then I simply scanned that halftone sketch into my computer and colorized it in Photoshop. Does that make sense? So this is my black and white sketch that I just showed you. This is my black and white sketch, which was in gouache, colorized in my computer. So the two things I'm going by for this painting are this and this photo. There we go. So the photo is for details, accuracy in the details of the landscape, but my sketch, of course, is actually, generally speaking, quite a bit more important than the photograph as far as the composition of the painting goes. And having said that, again, for any newcomers who might have stumbled on us here today, the top of the painting, as you can see, is very blue and green, so cool up there. The very bottom is warm. The top is cool. Therefore, I am making my abstract underpainting. And in case you're confused, no, this is not a normal way to start a painting. Okay? This is I didn't learn this from anybody. It's just evolved little by little over the years. So I do a crazy, completely abstract painting under all of my representational paintings, okay? And what relationship does the abstract have with the picture that it's going to be? The answer is it is the opposite, okay? So now that, having said that, whoops, I'm going, whoa, those lines are a little bit dangerous. I usually try to make lines that are counter, so let's fix this here. There we go, it's all fixed. I try to make lines that are opposite to the eventual picture, and definitely colors. So because the top of the painting is going to be cool, therefore my underpainting is warm. Get it? And because the final painting down here in the two corners is going to be warm, therefore my underpainting is cool. The very opposite, okay? You old timers know all this, but this is just in case somebody stumbles onto our delightful little community and wonders what's going on here. Hello, Barbara. Good, honored to have you on board, my dear. Both of you. All right, I think that's enough of a mess. Well, I mean, that's enough of a colored mess. Now let's do some white, opaque white. Several of you have asked me to give you a tour of my acrylic paint. I gave you a tour of my oils a couple weeks ago, and I will do that. In fact, I can do that many times because it's a very, very short tour. Here, I'll go ahead and do it right now while I paint, okay? It's very simple. I have two, well, in my small kits, this is one of my small kits. In fact, this is my smallest acrylic kit, okay? I have 8 little, you know, KitchenAid, Rubbermaid, whatever you want, whatever brand. It's not either of those brands, but, you know, it's leftover food containers, okay? Just to, lest you think that this is some kind of fancy art store product. No, this is the container store product. And I'm painting up here, but I'm just painting white, so we can talk about that later. All of my palettes start with purple and go around the color wheel this way, then brown, then white. So this is dioxazine violet. Hello, Monique. Oh my goodness, it's late there, isn't it? Thank you for staying up late and waiting for us. Dioxazine violet, about 40% paint and 60% medium. For like any medium will do, except slow dry, right? Then a cool red. This one happens to be called Carmine, C-A-R-M-I-N-E, Carmine. It could be called magenta. It could be called rose. I'm trying to think what other names it could be called. But it's a cool red. That's very important. It's important that it's a cool red because all of these colors, except for white, are transparent. All right? Let that sink in if you're new here. Let that sink in. They're all transparent except for the white. Here's what I've been doing, by the way, while I've been talking. Just basically tracing over several of these big, bold strokes that I made in color. Now I'm tracing on top of them in white. All right, back to my palette then. Cool red. That's important because in the world of transparent colors, there is no such thing as transparent red. That no doubt will come as a shock to some of you. You're saying, how can that be? I can take a tube of cadmium red and make it transparent. Okay, we've talked about this a bunch. I'll have to say it again. Yes, you can take a cad red, say, or a Scarlet Lake, or even a Naphthol Crimson. Although the last one of those is borderline cool. But you could take a red, fire engine red paint and make it transparent. And it is indeed transparent, but what color is it then? It is every bit pink. Your brain looks at that color and does not say, oh, transparent red. Do you follow me? It does not. Mentally, psychologically, so here I'm talking psychologically here, not in physics class at this moment. I'm in I'm in chemistry class, almost psychology class. It turns pink. It is not the same color. Whereas if you take a purple and make it transparent, what color is it? Transparent purple. If you take orange and make it transparent, what color is it? Transparent orange. If you take yellow, make it transparent, what color is it? Transparent yellow. Same thing with blue, brown. Do you follow me? You take red and make it transparent, what color is it? Pink. It's no longer red. All right? Unless it's a cool red, like magenta or quinacridone. Okay? So I'm not going to talk that much about most of these, but that's one of the weird ones. Orange, any color orange. I don't use CADs, so any kind of orange is fine with me. Yellow. The yellow needs to be a little bit on the cool side of yellow. It can't be a warm, like a CAD yellow. And again, I don't use any CADs, but if I use the name, then you know what color. It cannot be a CAD yellow deep. In other words, an orange yellow. Okay? Because if you do that, you've limited your palette, and you can't achieve every color in the rainbow. So it has to be a fairly, I'm going back here for a minute to my watercolor sticks. It has to be a cool yellow, all right? Then the two blues, again. Yeah, 2 clipboards. Thanks for noticing. And the way they're attached, maybe I'll show you that too, is I built that myself. Real simple. I'll show you that in a minute maybe. All right, the 2 blues, very important. A warm blue, phthalo, and a cool blue, ultramarine. If you are one of those who's confused about, wait a minute, blues are all cool. How can there be a warm, cool, blah, 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 blah. Then please, hang up here, leave us, go back and find one of my many videos where I talk about color wheel or color. Okay, I think you could just, I hope I labeled them that. I think I did. If you just look up Dan Nelson color, that will be, I don't always do black pencils in my underpainting, but I'm just in the mood today. Feeling frisky, shall we so. No, they're not baby food containers, but they are leftover food containers. Okay, got them at the container store. We have one of those in Raleigh, and they're made for putting leftovers in the fridge. Then any old brown, as you can see, I haven't even opened it yet because this is by far the least used of my colors. And finally, white. Now, please understand, the white does not have any medium in it. If you have to ask the question, do you put medium in your white, then you don't understand the concept of opacity, okay? Transparent, oh boy, I don't want to get smart alecky here, but there are some paint companies that sell paints called transparent white, okay? And if that's because they're not English majors, they're not particularly good with language. Here's one. I have one right here. Transparent marble white. Now think about it. If it's transparent and if it's white, what should be in this tube? The answer is either air or pure meat. There should be nothing in the tube. I'm not going to take that any further. But all you English majors know exactly what I mean, because you know what the meaning of transparent is. I'm, again, picking on everybody here. I'm a equal opportunity picker on her. A tube of transparent white should be empty. All right. So if you add white to your, no. If you add transparent medium to your white, all you're doing is wasting white and wasting medium, both. Don't do it. All right. Next step. So that's my tour. That's really simple. Phthalo, ultramarine, that's important. Cool red, that's important. Cool yellow, that's important. Everything else is not important. Any intense purple will do, is what I mean by that when I say it's not important. All right, I am going to start now drawing with what color? I could use phthalo blue, I guess. Oh, real quick, since somebody mentioned my easel here, let me give you a quick tour of that, since I'm doing some, inner working stuff here. All right, so this easel, I like it quite well. I don't know how it would do outside in the rain. Well, it would do terrible. I'm assuming I would already, I take all my paintings out, all my easels outside in the rain, okay? And, but I build them up quite a bit, and I paint them with polyurethane before I do. This one, I'm not sure would handle that, even with polyurethane in it. Anyway, I don't know if you can see this piece of, thank you, Susan. This is a piece of quarter round. And behind it is a piece of 1/2 inch wood, 1/4 inch thick, 1/2 inch tall, and it's glued onto the back of the easel. Then the 1/4 inch round is glued on top of that so that there's a little lip. I'm not describing this very well, but maybe I can show you this way. So it's real simple, real stupid, real simple. I have a piece of masking tape on the end of this clipboard, and I did it loose and folded it up so there's a little bit of a lip right there. Do you see? A ledge. And then that is quite stable. I'm pulling on it pretty hard and it stays put. Now, I had 2 of those at one time. I since lost one of my clipboards. This one doesn't have it, and I find it still quite stable. So there you go. That's the easiest easel modification I've ever done. All right, back to, let's talk about painting, shall we? I'd rather talk about painting than all this other stuff. Hang on just a minute. All right, so I declare my underpainting finished. It's actually a little more subtle than normal. Oh well, I'm going to leave it. Now I'm going to do some drawing. This is very typical. You regulars, here I am. I'm doing a painting with no buildings in it. Does that bother me? Yes. Don't tell my client. Secrets between us. Oh, and I now just realized I left my T-square downstairs. Okay, I'll get that. I'll go get that later. I would say anytime, just between you and me, anytime that you're doing I'm looking at the photograph up there above my head now. Anytime you're doing an oceanscape, a seascape, and you can see the horizon, I would say most of the time, why even waste your time maybe getting it wrong? Just grab a really not just a seascape, but any body of water, even a river or a lake. Just don't even play around with trying to get it straight. I mean, why? What's the point? Anyways, grab a T-square and slap it down on your canvas and draw a line with a ruler. That's my opinion on the subject. You don't have to agree with me, that's right. Maybe I don't even always agree with me, but that's at the moment, that's my story and I'm sticking with it at the moment. Which kind of negates the meaning of the phrase, that's my story and I'm sticking with it, doesn't it? Okay, I'm looking at, right now I'm looking at the photograph quite a bit. But I'm looking at my sketch as well. So I don't know. Forget that. I'm looking at both of them. This is going to be a short broadcast because my wife is cooking supper. We're alone for supper tonight. What a nice treat. We love our kids, don't get me wrong, but we love each other too. And it is kind of nice. Hello, Lady Grammy. Good to have you on board. Hello, Brenda. Good to have you here. I'm turning around here, picking up black pencils and giving them a quick sharpen. And one of my fancy schmancy $2 pencil sharpeners that don't last very long. In fact, I have a hunch that one's getting a little dull. All right, now everything's still wet, right? But I can do this pencil with impunity. How's that for a title of a James Patterson or who's the guy that writes? Anyway, never mind. I'm getting myself into a arena that I know little about, so I won't. Oh, but now I've got myself irritated. Novelist. I mean, there's 100 of them, thousands, but he writes mystery. That doesn't help you any. No, don't even try. But there was a reason I was going to tell you this. So I definitely want to accurately capture the contour. Now out here, it's not so much, but this part of the hill, quite distinctive. And as I mentioned earlier, I got this photograph from my client. This is an after wedding painting, by the way, that I'm doing. I did 2 paintings for this client. One is of the reception that you watched me do. Some of you watched me do just a couple weeks ago. The one in the steel mill, right? So their wedding was in steel mill country, I presume Pennsylvania somewhere. I know, I don't remember. And their honeymoon was in Hawaii. Aren't you glad it wasn't the other way, the other way around? Hang on a second, I'll show you the other photo. Hello, Uncle 60. Yeah, is he going to be Uncle 61 now? You have to catch up. So I have all these other images of this scene that will help influence the way I render all right, since I can't do a lot before that dries, I think I can do one thing, and that is I can do some white. A little bit out of order here for me. I don't normally do white at this point, but hey, Uncle Horatio. Alcohol ratio, maybe. I'm still using her brushes a lot. Not because of my exquisite planning. It's just because this is where I opened your package, and the gloves and the brushes are all still right here. Thank you very much. I have enjoyed them very much. You can tell I haven't even got the price tag off, the scan code off that one. Two reasons this broadcast is going to be short, I started to say. One is because my wife's cooking supper, and the other is because I called it starting. Well, on my somewhere on the YouTube channel, I called it getting started. All right, so that's all I'm going to do is just get it started, and we'll go from there later. Maybe later tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see. Doing a little bit of fuzz there. I really do need to, before I continue on that horizon, I really will go downstairs and pick up one of my T-squares and bring it up here and check on it. All right, isn't that a crazy way to start a painting? Yeah, not a cityscape. This painting would be much better if I could put a great big, or not great, but a big but small castle right here. Oh, that would be cool. But I hope my client doesn't listen to this. She'll start thinking I'm complaining. I'm not complaining, Kelsey. I'm not complaining a bit. It's good to be challenged, isn't it? The challenge is, can Dan Nelson do a painting without architecture in it? Remains to be seen. But really, I think I'm done. I do have to wait for that white to dry now. So this would be a good time to go eat supper. The body of water is an ocean. In fact, it's so funny. You literally cannot tell where the ocean is in this photograph. So I went online, thanks to Google Earth and all kinds of other things, Google in general, of course, and looked at a number of other photographs to try to figure out where is the skyline, where's the horizon, and that's my best guess. And my client, by the way, this is what I sent to my client, and then she made some slight changes, very appropriate, and this is what she's approved. So, do you remember that old Holiday Inn commercial decades ago? Probably showing my age, but it was a great line. It said, "The best surprise is no surprises." In fact, it turns out I just read this week that for some reason that was one of the that was one of the pioneering breakthroughs in hospitality was sort of like McDonald's and the hamburger, Holiday Inn, and their service. A person could check into any Holiday Inn anywhere, and they would sort of know exactly what they were going to get. And they marketed that, did a good job. Anyway, the line in their commercial was, the best surprise is no surprises. And I think that way a lot when I'm doing commissions for people. I often will tell my client, you know, by the time I get to the finished painting, you know, I don't want you to look at it and go, that's not what we were thinking, right? So hopefully I do enough sketches and so forth. In most cases, of course, people have seen my style of painting, so that is what they're expecting. That's a good thing. Good to have that sort of that milestone, if you will, under my belt. People know what to expect, and then it's just a matter of providing them with enough sketches. And again, I showed you a minute ago the sketch that I showed to them. So I don't think Kelsey will be shocked when she sees this. My goal, of course, is to create a beautiful painting. So this gives me all the information I need. Everything placed in the right place. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, I am doing to this scene what I do to almost all of my scenes, which is compressing them, over verticalizing them, making the mountains steeper, making the buildings taller and narrower. So that is already reflected in my sketch. You see the difference? How the valley here is a much steeper V shape than this is. This is a U, and it's very wide, and this is quite a bit narrower. That's on purpose, that's intentional. This is more dramatic, but it still feels like it should. I want it to feel like this particular valley. Very, very famous valley on the northwest shore of Kauai, okay, which is, I think, the westernmost island of Hawaii. All right, I've jabbered long enough. Thank you, all of you, for your company. Oh, indeed, happy birthday all around. I get a kick out of you guys chatting with each other. Thank you for doing that. I hung up so quickly the other day that many of you thought I had, you know, dropped the mic again or something. I didn't. I just said, okay, that's done, bye. And I hung up. So I'm stretching this out a little bit. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Have a nice evening. This is it, I promise. Okay, thanks for watching, y'all. Love you. Bye.